Hi there, Capricorn, and welcome back to Bon Echo Tarot. I am here with the Blood Moon Eclipse and Mercury Retrograde Energies report for now, July 27th, which was yesterday. It's taken me 3 days to record these videos because it is Mercury Retrograde. So, but the energies are still very present. I was just outside, actually, and the moon is still very full. I don't think we're going to be getting like a real break from these energies until we get to the end of August, but they're especially intense now. So what I'm doing with this report is I'm going through the global astrology first, and then the astrology specific to Capricorn, and then I'm going to do 2 tarot spreads, one for the eclipse energies and then another one for Mercury retrograde. So starting with the global astrology, most astrologers and the ones that I follow are Astrology King, Astro Mojo, Michelle Knight, and Aquarius Papers. I've been following some of these sites for many, many years now, and they have amazing insights into, many different perspectives, because astrology is just an infinite, vast resource of patterns that people have been keeping track of for a really long time. So it's fascinating to see how people are interpreting these alignments that we're dealing with right now. But the consensus seems to be that we are all entering a completely new and very significant chapter of our lives. So it's really important to be mindful about just about everything right now, especially how we're communicating and interacting with other people, because Mars is adding a lot of extra energy right now to give us the confidence to move through these changes. But as well, with that kind of extra energy, Mars being the warrior planet, assertiveness can very quickly turn into aggression. Aggression can turn into violence. So be very mindful wherever you are, not only on a personal level, but in the space around you as well. So, because as we move from one chapter to another, there's some grief as to what we're letting go of. There are things that we're still holding on to. There are things that are stuck. So the eclipse comes along, shakes things up a little bit, changes something, and then we move into Mercury retrograde to reflect on everything. So if you look back to mid-February, that was when the last eclipse was before this series of 3. And we'll get more into detail when I get into your specific Capricorn astrology. But if you look back to mid-February and the kinds of things that you were dealing with then, they may be relevant to you now. With the eclipses, we're seeing a lot of contrast, which is creating a lot of tension, but it's also an opportunity to become more creative with our solutions. So remember that when things get tough, that it's really just pushing you to get to another level of creativity as to how to solve the problem that you're dealing with. The one thing is we have Venus softening everything, which is a good thing. And Venus is actually facilitating rebirths within relationships, romantically and otherwise. It's creating opportunities for new partnerships, as well as creating new opportunities for abundance and ways to make money. So there's a lot of benefits to this. So as long as you take a sort of grace under pressure kind of approach, you should go through these, what are perceived to be extra challenging energies, fairly well and fairly smoothly. So let's look at what Capricorn is dealing with specifically. As I said, there are 3 eclipses in this summer series. So we've got the July 12th one, July 27th, and then another one again on August the 11th. So when we have eclipses, it affects us all differently because it falls in a different house in our astrological chart. So the eclipse on July 12th was about partnerships. So you may have been experiencing something either challenging or intense or culminating wise with regards to partnerships in early July. And then the energy of this eclipse is in your 2nd house, which is your house of income and values and spending habits. Spending habits, investment, etc., etc. And then what ends up happening is that the eclipse in August is happening in the same house as what Mercury Retrograde is going through. So that's going to be your 8th house, which is fairly intense because it's about intimacy, sex, death, and other people's money, taxes, that sort of thing. That's all 8th house stuff. So, and I believe Scorpio rules that house as well. So with Mercury retrograde, it's going to be also about your ambitions versus your self-limiting beliefs. So, and that's been a pattern that I've been seeing for most people, is that we're being forced to take a look at how we sabotage ourselves and get a different perspective on it over these next 3 weeks. And to just be present with whatever seems to be coming up over the next 3 weeks for you to look on. The other planetary influences for Capricorn right now is that Venus, its position in relation to Capricorn is increasing your need for love and affection. And with the focus being on partnerships and income and other people's money, this could be a very critical point in the relationship that you're in terms of how you're sharing energy, whether it be love and affection or money. So, but Saturn, which can sometimes be a pretty stern teacher, is being really kind and gentle with us all right now. And for you specifically, because Capricorn is such a hardworking sign, you know, Saturn is actually rewarding you now. So whatever efforts you've been putting towards things for the last, 6 months to a year maybe, you're now reaping the rewards from that. And Uranus is also supporting us, which is also strange because Uranus is usually the one to smack us in the head or change everything up on a dime, and then it's like, whoa. So, but Uranus is actually allowing for Capricorn smoother integration of all of these changes, which in light of the subject matter that you're dealing with is probably much appreciated. Jupiter's bringing you optimism, and Neptune is enhancing your intuition. So it's going to be really important for you to pay attention to your gut. You're going to be able to trust it because all of these alignments are bringing things into clear focus for you. So now that we've gone through the astrology, I'm going to throw some cards down. And this first spread will be a full Celtic cross spread for the eclipse energy specifically. And then I'm going to do 3 cards for the Mercury retrograde energies. So, what insight can we get for Capricorn on the energies of the blood moon eclipse, July 27th? Insights for Capricorn for the blood moon eclipse, July 27th, 2018. All right, so let's, okay. All right, so for this reading, the hidden ground or the background energies are death. So that's very much in keeping with the themes of the idea of certain things having an absolute ending as we move into a completely new beginning. So whether you're dealing with the death of someone, my condolences if you are. This, I think, is more of the sort of figurative environment of change. You're likely surrounded by people who are going through very, very similar feelings and issues with grief and whatnot. But at the center of your reading, we have the Emperor, which is about empowerment. It's about authority. I'm getting the feeling that you're really coming into a place where you feel like you are an authority in your own life. So that's good. Your obstacle, though, is the Magician. And this is likely ideas that you want to manifest now or yesterday, if that were possible. But we're in Mercury Retrograde, and you're not the only one who wants to make things happen. But there's something that needs to be reviewed first. And we'll get to that when we get to the Mercury Retrograde reading. The foundation of your reading is the Two of Swords. So there's a few ways that we can interpret the Two of Swords. We could say it's got to make a decision, a choice between two things. But the thing about the Two of Swords is that they're blindfolded. And there's also a moon in the background. And so it's kind of like you're thinking, but you don't have all the information yet. And there's still something hidden from you that you can't integrate into, which is, again, what Mercury Retrograde is all about. So the eclipse may be just bringing up to us the kinds of things that are keeping us stuck so that we can actually see them for what they are. In the recent past, the dynamic here is focusing too much on the loss, presumably from the previous chapter in your life, as we all learn to let go. And the thing is that once we take our focus off of what we've lost, then we start to see the gifts that are coming to us. The things that we have, the ideas that we've been putting out there are starting to come back to us and manifesting, but we can't see them if we're still focused on the last chapter. Conceptually, we need to change our perspective. His perspective is in this direction. If he changes this perspective in any other direction, chances are he's going to see this opportunity. So it really is a lot about playing with your own mind and trying things on for size in terms of how you're going to think about things. What's crowning your reading is the Lovers. So this could be a very supportive relationship, an intimate relationship that is divinely given to you. I get the impression, Capricorn, that that you're not single. That, I can't say that all Capricorns are partnered, but this reading feels like it's for those who've been in long-standing partnerships, or at least solidified bonds. Here we have the Six of Cups. So it's like for those in these existing partnerships, there's kind of a bit of a renaissance going on. Reconnection with perhaps with what brought the two of you together to begin with. And embracing what you don't understand about why this connection is so strong. In the position of you is the Star. So you have a lot of reason to be hopeful. So lean into whatever reserves you have of patience, and be as calm with your emotions as possible. In your environment, you've got the King of Pentacles. So you're surrounded by people who are very secure, solid, dependable. Your relationship could be with another earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And it seems like, there's a very strong, reliable presence that is significant to pretty much everything that's going on for you right now. In your hopes and fears, you have the Five of Wands. So maybe, you're afraid of confrontation of some sort. But with the final outcome, it looks like that's exactly what you're going to get. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to clarify the Knight of Swords here, because this is usually not a very good conversation, if it is a conversation. So let's take a look at clarifying the Knight of Swords. Clarify the Knight of Swords, please. And we have the Seven of Cups. So there could be something that's confusing things. There may be too many choices in front of you in your partnership as to how to approach this next chapter. And perhaps because of the confusion and the frustration, it's causing friction in your relationship. Again, what can I tell you? It's a time to be patient. It's a time to probably not take yourself too seriously right now, or the kinds of things that are going on with the people around you, and realize that a lot of it, because yes, certain things will go away. Perhaps some relationships will change. All of our social networks are apparently up for renewal. So stay open as much as you can. And really don't let the frustration get the better of you. Because as I said, it'll just create a mess that's going to be a lot to clean up before you can get to the good stuff. You get to the good stuff a lot faster. If we can stay disciplined through this time, at the end of Mercury Retrograde, our rewards will be that much more. So, now on to Mercury Retrograde. Insights into that. Because, it's, there may be confrontations around the intimate structures of your relationships. There could be issues regarding the money that you share within a relationship. So let's just see what the cards have to say. The first card will be what's under review. The second card will be the best advice for processing the changes. And the third card will be a glimpse of what's coming. Because like I said, if we can stay disciplined and participate in the process instead of fighting it, we'll get a sneak peek faster of what it is we're moving into. Because it's like, well, if everything's changing, what's happening then? Where am I going? What am I doing? None of us know. We just don't. And so the person who you're dealing with has no more information than you do. And you're all just going to have to wait. We're all just going to have to wait. So, let's see what is under review for Capricorn. And what is under review are the seeds that you're planting. and being conscious of what you want to harvest later on down the road. So if this is in your 8th house and it's about intimacy and other people's money and taxes and all of that stuff, you have to make sure that you are planting the right seeds so that you can support this new chapter. So you have to stay very conscious in all of these moves. So, best advice for processing the changes, Capricorn? Yes, you get stuff done. Definitely. But nobody is getting anything done right now, including you. You don't have all the information yet. You're going to have to wait for things to unfold. That's kind of the situation that you're dealing with, okay? So the best advice is to sit tight and be okay with not knowing where you're going. As hard as that is for you, it's essential. And a glimpse of what's coming, well, look at that. Is that not incentive enough right there? A whole new, mature, I'm losing my words. It's moving to a level in a relationship where the love that you're sharing between the two of you is very mature, it's solid, it's nurturing, it's loving, and it's likely going to be around for a while. So I'd say that that's pretty good incentive, that if you can sit tight and not worry too much, because this really is about staying committed to one another, to the dreams that you're sharing, to making sure that you're both prosperous with money, with resources, and following each other's dreams. So that's what this is all about. So breathe, relax, and know that whatever uncomfortable situations or feelings of being held back that you're going to feel over the next 3 weeks are temporary, and that all of these things are moving you to a much more mature place in the way that you share your love and the most intimate aspects of yourself in relationship. All right? So I hope that was helpful to you, Capricorn. And thank you for your support. And keep on sharing, liking, and subscribing. And if you would like a personal reading, you can contact me through Facebook. I have a page there, Boneco Tarot, which you can follow. I am writing more and more articles, and Mercury Retrograde seems to be one of my favorites. So if you're interested in that in the future, stay tuned. Thanks again, Capricorn.